Hello, welcome to week 6. This is part A of 2 parts. There's going to be a part A and a part B. So we're going to go through this video first. Then you're going to want to try the on your own questions in the red boxes. Then go to the next video and do it all over again. It's going to be pretty short. So let's get started. I think my favorite part of this lesson is going to be in class on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I have you. We're going to go over the probabilities that you make up and some of the ones that you have to talk about. So I'm really excited about this. Let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is define, what does probability mean? Probability is the chance of something happening. So we use fractions or decimals or percents for probability. So let's get into some of the basics that you need to understand in order to understand probability. Our first thing that we're going to talk about is a probability must be between the numbers 0 and 1. So that's true. Can't be a negative and cannot be a number bigger than 1. However, when we use percentages, we use the numbers 0 to 100 to represent all possible probabilities. So it's either 0 to 1, or if you're looking at something that has a percent symbol, that's what we call this. This is a percent symbol. You are going to be between 0 and 100. All right, so this first question that I'm going to do as an example says, circle which of the following could possibly be a realistic probability. So basically, we're just seeing, do you understand which one of these is between 0 and 1 or 0% and 100%? Let's get started. This first one does not have a percent symbol over next to it, and it is bigger than 1. Not possible. This next one, I know that 13 is bigger than 2, so this is going to be a number bigger than 1. If that's a struggle for you and you don't have quite the understanding of percents and decimals as you would like, that's all right. I'm going to show you what you can do. You can put it into your calculator, so 13, and then you can turn it into a fraction using our handy dandy fraction thing, and then you press equal, and it'll show you that it is in fact a number that is bigger than 1, so therefore that could not possibly be a probability. Let's keep going. The next one says 14%. Remember, if it has the percent symbol next to it, then it can be between 0 and 100. So therefore, this one is a possible probability. This one is negative. Out of the question. You cannot have a negative probability. This next number is between 0 and 1. Even though it doesn't have a percent symbol next to it, that's all right. It's still between 0 and 1, so we're going to circle it. And then finally, oh, we got 2 more actually. 3 out of 100. Now, 3 is smaller than 100, so it's going to be smaller than 1. Again, if that's something you're uncomfortable with, you didn't learn that, you're not exactly sure what I'm talking about, that's okay. Go to your calculator, put in the fraction, press the equal sign. This is between 0 and 1, so yes, that is a percent or a probability. All right, this next one is a number between 0 and 100. Since it has the percent symbol, it can go all the way up to 100. So we're going to circle it. Even though it's very, very tiny, it's still bigger than 0, so we count it. All right, go ahead and try the on your own questions and come back when you're ready to move on. Welcome back. I hope you feel successful after that. Let's take a look at this next part. We're going to be going into some vocabulary for this next part, so get ready. I've put some more common words next to the words that we're going to need to go through. So it says rank the following words from one with the lowest probability happening to the highest probability of it happening, which would be 5. So 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. Then write the words on the number line below. So we're going to go through these words first. The word certain means for sure. It's definitely going to happen. Unlikely means probably not, maybe there's a little chance, but probably not. Likely means probably. It might not happen, but it probably will. Equally likely means half and half, 50-50 chance. Either thing could happen. And impossible means that there's no way that it could possibly happen. Never, ever would it ever happen. Impossible. All right, so we're going to set up our, which one we think is the lowest probability. So 0 is the lowest probability, and so that would be never. So when we say something has a 0 probability, we say that it is impossible or it would never happen. Remember, this is 0 or 0%. And then up here, we have 1 or 100%, depending on if we're using percents or just regular numbers. All right, so if it's never, and that means 0 probability, then number 1 goes over here on our number line. All right, next would come unlikely. So something that is unlikely to happen, it's probably not going to happen. It could, there's a small chance, probably not. So that's going to be somewhere in between 0 and 50, somewhere close to 0. I would say maybe around there. It could vary depending on the scenario. So let's just say that we'll put it right in the middle here and say that's 0.25 or 25%, depending on which one we're using. And that's unlikely. It's unlikely that it'll happen. All right, we're going to keep going. Equally likely is coming next. See how equally likely is halfway? So that's going to be half or 0.5 or 50%. Sometimes you hear people say 50-50 chance. That's equally likely, right there in the middle. All right, let's keep going. Likely means that it's probably going to happen. There's still a chance that it might not, but probably. And it could be around 75%. It could be a little more. It could be a little less, depending on the scenario. But 75% or 0.75 is about average of what something that would be likely. All right, and then last but not least, we have certain. This is like it will happen. There's no way it won't happen. And I know people say 100, 100, and that definitely means this, right? It's going to happen 100%, 100, 100. So that has that same meaning. It means for sure or definitely. All right, so just to go into it a little bit more, let's answer these few questions about what we just talked about. So what does it mean if something has a probability of 0? So looking back at what we said before, probability of 0 is here. And we said that was impossible or never. So what does it mean if something has a probability of 0? If something has a probability of 0, it is impossible. Then what else did we say? It will never happen. All right, so there's our answer to that question. All right, and I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to kind of take this and reuse it as a template. Copy, paste, there we go. So the next question says, what does it mean if something has a probability of 1? What does it mean if something has a probability of 1? And looking back at our notes that we just took, look at me, I'm not doing this very well, has a probability of 1, it is, and then what is the word that we used? It is certain which means it will definitely, for sure, 100 happen. All right, yeah. And so, like I try to say to you guys, I really love it when you show your personality on these assignments. So if you want to show how you would explain it a little differently, I would love to see that. Okay, last one, and then you're done with this video, and you just gotta keep on going. Oh, I guess I can do a little bit of explaining, but what does it mean if something has a probability of 0.5? And we put that on the chart. So what is the probability of 0.5? So we'll look back up and see what does it mean if something has a probability of 0.5. If something has a probability of 0.5, you can see it's number 3, and it says it's equally likely, half and half, 50-50 chance is a very common phrase that people use, and it's the same as 50%. Something has a probability of 0.5, it is equally likely to happen or not. You could say 50-50 chance. All right, that's a really common phrase that. All right, so sorry about that little jump there, but we're just going to go through these questions really quick and make sure you understand the language in some of these questions. So basically what you're doing is you're reading the sentence and then you're putting where you think the probability will be, and then you're assigning it a percentage. So the probability your first child will be female, that is the sex you assign a baby at birth. Could be female, could be male, could be something called intersex. If you want to know more about that, feel free to Google it, or you can come and talk to me. I just thought I'd mention it. The word inappropriate means swear. So a swear word, what is the probability you'll hear a swear word during the day? Pretty good, I think, for me. Scenario 7 had some confusing language. It said Harding boys tennis team will win the conference. That is the state conference, so that's a really, really big deal. But we have a pretty good tennis team, so just thought I'd let you know. Conference means the state. You win the state. The Bachelor is a silly reality TV show. Feel free again to Google that if you're not sure what that question is about. The term at least 50 years old means 50 or older. So that can be a little tricky to understand. Remember, 50 or older, 90 or older. And then the last scenario there is, what do you think? What's the odds that somebody's going to be a good person and try to get your wallet back to you? All right, come with your full sentence in class and we will go over it. Good luck.